Welcome back. So in this part or this segment of the video, what I'd like to focus on is what that end user experience looks like. And in particular, the fact that you will be taking a survey. And as we mentioned before, it is a very brief survey. You can see here on the screen that you can take this on a phone, which I'll now move out of the way. And you can take the same survey on a browser, on a desktop or a tablet. The first thing to point out is that as you're taking the survey, you can see that there are some closed questions where it's asking you a yes or a no. And there are some long answer or open questions where you can elaborate. The idea, again, is behind gathering sentiments and getting feedback. So for a lot of these questions that we're asking that are long answers, we're going to analyze that information, get some type of value around it using artificial intelligence from Microsoft. And for these closed-ended on the yes or the no, we can certainly compute on that to figure out, in a binary format, what people are saying, whether yes or no, and show you values on that. But for the purposes of the ingestion, the survey taken, it is less than 10 questions. And the different paths or routes that you can take it really stems from the "Are you employed?" question, which is a very important question, right? Because whether you're employed or not can shape your mental health, your physical health, or it could be a factor of your physical health why you're not employed anymore. And we wanted to be able to have nuances around that. So obviously you can say, yes, you're currently employed. And if you say no, one of the things that we wanted to find out is, are you displaced due to COVID-19, yes or no? So let's run through a scenario here. So we'll say that, are you currently employed? The answer is no. Are you displaced due to COVID-19? Let's say no for now. And then how's your mental health today? So, I'm sad that I am not working. Are you more anxious today than yesterday? If that's the case, you can say that's probably a yes. How's your physical health? It's okay as of now. How are you feeling from working from home? So here, clear example, if you're not working and unemployed, then this has to be, or could be an NA because you're not gainfully employed. If you're running a side hustle, depends. You could certainly elaborate on that. How do you feel about assisting your children? Again, this depends on the fact if you have children or not. So, but for here, I'll just say, assume that the person filling this out has kids and can say, it's a challenge, but I am getting better at it. Do you see more openness towards distance learning? Based on that answer, you can actually say yes for that one, right? And what we want to say here as well is, do you think social distancing impacting software? You can say, I think so. Collab software is helping. Forgive the grammar. And when you click submit here, it gets grayed out, making sure you don't double submit it. Eventually what will happen is that this will send you over to a Power BI report, and this is what you see after you submit that information. And for this, Katie's going to go in a little bit more detail a little bit later on, but the idea here is that you provide a little bit of information, and automatically you will get some information back relative to yourself and others. The one thing I'll point out before Katie gets into her piece is that if you don't see your information immediately from you submit it, it is because we are adhering to a schedule over 24 hours for refreshes. So just come back, take the survey again, especially if you want to take it closer to this time, Eastern time zone, then you can definitely see that refresh. And again, the idea is for you to take this multiple times so that we can gauge the response of an individual, which could fluctuate over the period of a day or over a period of many days.
As you just saw, Fabian walked you through the first step in our project, which is the survey. And now I'm going to share my screen and talk you through just a few little basics about the Power BI report. And this is actually what you will see. Sorry, we'll start here. And you'll come to this page, and a few things, if you are not familiar with Microsoft Power BI, is that it is interactive and elements on the screen do interact with each other. So it makes it for a much more user-friendly report. And so you can see this is historical trends I do also show the sentiment scores as a line graph, and these are actually the average over 3 days on that day. So you'll see, you would have seen in probably news a lot about talking about rolling 3-day averages of looking at data versus just that day. Another big point with our report is that we are looking at everything as median instead of mean or average, and that's just to help with skewedness in the data and to minimize that without jeopardizing the data. Once you come to the data viz and map page, just want to point out that on the rainbow to the left, you can click on each different sentiment and it does update 3 pieces of the report. So as you can see with my mouse, what I'm scrolling over, and it will tell you up at the top center what sentiment you are on. And just to point out a little bit, so you can see that over here it's looking at whether you're employed or not employed. There's also filters, so you can look at only people that are employed or only people that are not employed. We also show with maps, and that this visualization here, the color of the bars is actually based on if you're more anxious, if you marked yes, that you were more anxious that day that you took the survey. And we also have a calendar that shows the percentage of respondents who were more anxious that day. So you can see from here that people that are unemployed are more anxious the day they took the survey than before, versus if you are employed, people tend to be a lot less anxious overall. We do also show tabular data and then fun word cloud, again with a few more filters, and again this is all interactive, so that's always it's a fun piece. And then lastly, on the menu, so if you click on the hamburger, we do give links to both of our blogs, Twitter using the hashtag COVID-19 sentiment, and then mental health and Johns Hopkins links.